Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Selva. Welcome to my class today. This is week 17. We will look at listening skill. Listen for specific information, distinguishing relevant and irrelevant information in familiar contexts and on unfamiliar topics. Are you ready? What it means by listening for specific information? Do you have any idea about it? Listening for specific information means listening out for details or a particular piece of information. You must concentrate on parts that are relevant and ignore information that is not required. Specific details usually include names, numbers, reasons or causes, places, and dates. Let's look at our objective today. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to listen for specific information, distinguishing relevant and irrelevant information in familiar contexts and on unfamiliar topics. Let's look at it in detail. Specific information refers to the details, major and minor, that support the main idea by telling how, what, when, where, why, how much, or how many. These points refer to precise information or details about a particular event or data and trends contained in a report. Specific information can be obtained from all sorts of text, including announcements, speeches, talks, dialogues, or reports read aloud. How about identifying details? Specific details often follow or support a main point. There are questions in the listening paper that expect you to look out for specific information. You will not always hear the exact words that you will read in the exam questions. Try to listen for similar words and phrases that describe the type of information you are looking for. Now, how do you distinguish the relevant from the irrelevant information? You have to determine which information is linked to the subject or issue. If you cannot make a connection between the information and the subject, it is probably, yes, irrelevant. Look for points that are related to a subject or an issue. For example, if the question asks, what are the psychological impacts of natural disasters? Look for the emotional or mental effects of the subject discussed, which is natural disasters, and not some other information such as financial loss. Mastering listening skills will allow a student to access any sort of listening text, whether simple or complex, concrete or abstract, a familiar or an unfamiliar topic. Let's look at familiar topics. A familiar topic for a student will revolve around a student's personal and study life and involve the topics such as friendship, projects, pets, hobbies, family, and studies. These are the topics that are familiar with you. While an unfamiliar topic for a student would usually refer to topics that are outside of student life like work, financial investment, or matters outside your field of study. For example, adult learning courses, work, raising children, training programs, advice from an expert, and extreme sports. These are the effective strategies to tackle an unfamiliar listening topic. First of all, you have to read the rubric. It provides information on the setting and context. Second strategy is read the questions. They provide you with contextual information about the topic. The questions also show you what you need to look out for in order to answer them. The third strategy is focus on what the speakers are saying and how they say it while listening to the text. The speakers will often drop clues or outline what they will talk about beforehand. Knowing linking words will help you as a listener to anticipate what will be said next. And the last strategy is note the order of the content. Questions are normally arranged following the order of the content. This means that the answer for the first question is likely to be found at the beginning of the dialogue or monologue, not at the end. Now let's look at the example of questions. The first question, listen carefully to the news item and answer the questions that follow. The question is, Malaysia has strong tourism markets in A. India and Canada, B. Singapore and India, C. the Middle East and India, and D. India and the United States. The strategy is you have to focus on keywords. Strong tourism markets. Listen out for these words or their equivalent in the text. Also, listen out for the names of relevant countries only. Jot down notes quickly, leave out or eliminate the wrong answers. From the text, we can find that Malaysia Tourism Promotion Board Deputy Director General Mizra Muhammad Tayyab, speaking at a press conference yesterday, said that Malaysia is strong in the Middle Eastern and Indian markets. So, the answer for this question is C, the Middle East and India. This is the second question. Why do Indian tourists like to visit Malaysia? There are 4 options given. Option A, it is close to Singapore. B, they find Malaysia a cheap destination. C, they love the beautiful places in Malaysia. And D, they like traveling with the Middle Eastern tourists. So, the same strategy here, focus on keywords. Indian tourists like Malaysia. Listen out for these words in the text and jot down notes quickly. Leave out or eliminate the wrong answers. From the text, we can find this information. Malaysia is the favorite destination for tourists from India as they love its scenic places. The points in A, B and D are not found in the text and therefore are not the answers. The point in C is mentioned in the text. Scenic means beautiful. So the answer for this question is C. They live the beautiful places in Malaysia. Now, practice time. This is the listening practice. Your lecturer will share this link with you all later. Enjoy the practice. Now let's recap our lesson today. I believe by now you are able to listen for specific information and distinguish relevant and irrelevant information in familiar contexts and on unfamiliar topics. That's all for today, guys. Thank you.